morning, everyone. So today I'm performing a 360-degree liposuction with BBL. And what that is specifically is liposuction of the abdomen, the entire back, the waist, hips, and flanks with fat transfer to the butt and also the hips. And my patient has excess fat of the back, the abdomen, and the waist area. So by removing the fat from this area and transferring it to the butt and also the hip area, especially the lateral butt, this will really create a beautiful hourglass shape. So I filled her abdomen with Tumescent solution, which comprises of numbing solution and epinephrine to shrink the blood vessels so there's little to no bleeding. And I've developed a special multi-stage liposuction technique that creates really natural results and ideal grafts for fat grafting. The first step is creating tiny fat grafts and also breaking up the fat into tiny little particles. And I have this custom instrument that I use to break up the fat. You can see how the fat itself is kind of thick. You can see how this makes teeny tiny little fat grafts. So basically I break up the fat and then I'll gently suction the loosened fat. And this instrument is nice and round, so it's very gentle underneath the skin. I'm very gently and carefully removing the excess fat from her abdomen, and I actually count the exact number of strokes I put in each section through each hole, and I use very, very teeny tiny little cannulas. So it's like using a watercolor brush to gently remove the fat. So I've already removed 500 cc's of fat from the abdomen, and I'm going to empty this canister, collect this fat, and then take some more. Okay, so now her abdomen is nice and flat, and now after removing the fat, I go back in with this little instrument again to create tiny fat grafts that just disperse like sand and make everything look really smooth and even. Very carefully closing the liposuction hole, and you can see how super tiny it is, and I've hidden it in her tan line so it can be hidden by a bikini. And even though these are really small, it's important to make even the incisions look as perfect as possible. Now I'm starting on the liposuction for the sides, and you can see she has a lot of fat pinch. It's several centimeters. And so I'm going to very gently carve out fat from this side and create a really beautiful hourglass shape. Over 500 cc's from the left side, and I'm going to take even more. So I've washed this with triple antibiotic solution and also some saline, and you can see just I'm removing the fat and putting it into syringes for fat grafting later. I've removed over 700 cc's of fat from this side. You can see how this has created a really beautiful hourglass shape, and then when I accentuate that by placing fat in the hip and butt, it'll be even more dramatic. So I've also removed 700 cc's of fat from the other side, and now I'm going to cut these tight bands, these creases that she has at her back. And you can see on the before how she had really deep back folds. So now I very gently reposition the patient, and now I'm going to perform liposuction of her lower and mid back to blend the sides, and then we'll do the fat transfer to the butt and hips. So I've harvested over 2 liters of fat, and now I'm going to start the fat transfer to the butt and the hips. So now I'm going to very carefully start grafting the butt, and I like to first start on the side to round it out. I'm just putting a tiny little bit drop by drop. And at all times, I know exactly where I'm placing the fat, and it's really important to stay just in the fat layer. If you go deep, like in the muscle or under the muscle, that's where serious complications can arise. So just staying very superficial, going very carefully. I'm just very carefully going drop by drop from different angles to build the butt three-dimensionally, being extremely careful. And see, it should be nice and gentle, no force, no bruising. So I just wanted to show the final shape. Beautiful, round, full curve, super tiny waist. Just wanted to show from another angle how beautiful this looks. Super full and round, but super tiny waist. Looks amazing. Just wanted to show the beautiful projection from the side. Look how tiny her waist is and how nice and perky and full the butt is. Looks amazing.